Hi everybody, it's me Stacy at Scrapbooking Made Simple, and we have another demo for you today. We're going to be using product by ClearSnap, Coordinations, Cuttlebug, and Creative Imaginations. So today's demo is brought to you by the letter C. At any rate, we're going to get right to it, so I'm going to take the camera and scroll on down. Okay, there we go. Scrolling, scrolling, scrolling. And I think we're good. Okay, so today we're going to be using product by Cuttlebug. These are their Cuttlebug Plus embossing folders and dies. They not only emboss, but they cut, which is a really nice feature, and they do it all at the same time. And then you have the added benefit of being able to stencil with it. So we're going to get right to it, and this is Cogs and Wheels, and this is the first one I'm going to show you. I've got it here, and a couple weeks ago I brought in paper by Creative Imaginations from their Cuttable line. I'm not sure if you can see this, but this is corrugated cardstock. There, you can hear it. When I saw this, I thought how great for guy cards and for texture and little boy cards and scrapbooking pages, just to give some texture. And then I saw the Cogs and Wheels, and I thought, oh, this is going to be a lot of fun. We'll go ahead and we'll emboss it and cut it and see how it comes out. So the very first thing I'm going to do is open up my folder. Now when you buy these, you do not want to cut here, and you do not want to pull your die off the plastic. You need to keep it as a folder. That's really important. So I'm going to go ahead and put my corrugated cardstock face down, because I want to emboss this and not deboss it. If I wanted my image to be debossed, I would have put it face up. I'm going to sandwich it in between my two clear plates. I'm not sure you can call my plates clear, but they still work, and I'm not ready to give them up yet. And put it in my Sizzix Big Shot machine, because that is our machine of choice here at Scrapbooking Made Simple. It is the only machine that will do every die on the market right now. So we're going to just put it on through and let it go. Now keep in mind, when I'm using my Big Shot with these dies, I did not use tab 1 or tab 2. I used the base plate on my multi-purpose cutting pad. So here's tab 1 and tab 2, and they're not being used to put my die through. Take off my clear plates and open it up. And this is what I've got. Can you see the embossing on there? But you know me, it's not done yet, because I need that embossing to come up a little bit more. And with this Cuttables line, it is a color core paper, so the brown will actually come through if I sand off the blue. And that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to use my brand new Coordination Sand It gadget. Now this is a really nice sanding block, and it's very inexpensive, only $3.50. It's foamy, and the sandpaper goes on and off with Velcro. I really like it. I thought it was great when I got it. It sanded beautifully, and what I love most about it is that the replacement sand paper is only $1.50 for $1.25 for 8 more sheets. So that's really economical. So I am going to take my Sand It gadget by Coordination and start sanding off my color. Now the more I sand, the more the blue will come off, and the undercolor of the paper will come through. Can you see it starting to come through? So the more I sand, the more that will come off. So there. Isn't that cool? Now this centerpiece will pop out because it has been die cut. Let me show you something that I did with the brown corrugated paper. So I sanded, and then I took a new Hero Art stamp and some black embossing powder and backed it just to make a simple guy's card. Now I'll tell you, the feel is kind of like leather. It's got a very Tim Holtz vintagey look to it, and I really like it. So that's using the cogs and wheels with some corrugated paper and sanding. Now, of course, you could use any white core paper to sand down, and I will show you some samples of that soon. But right now I've got a little bit of a mess that I'm going to clean up, and I'm going to take my glitter magnet, which isn't just for glitter. It also picks up embossing powder. It obviously will pick up my mess from my sanding. It's a tack cloth. It's made by Elizabeth Craft Designs, or Be Creative, and sold by Elizabeth Craft Designs. It's $5 and it comes in a sheet that's bigger than 8.5 by 11. I have then just cut this down, and when it stops picking up your embossing powder or your glitter, you throw it away. This isn't meant to be washed. You just get rid of it and then come back to your original piece and cut yourself off another slice of it. So I have cleaned up my mess, and I am going to move on. This time we are going to be using the Whimsy folder. Again, a new one by Cuttlebug, and this is also going to cut and emboss, but this time I'm going to show you how to stencil with it. So I have got my paper inside, my white paper is in there, and I'm going to close up my folder. And again, I'm never going to cut this, and I'm never going to peel my dies off of the plastic that they're on. I'm going to go ahead and sandwich them back into my clear plates and bring over my Big Shot. And I'm going to use my base plate, not with tab 1 or tab 2, and I am going to put it right on through. This time, however, instead of sanding, I'm going to stencil. So take off my plates, and I'm not going to pull my paper out right away. Instead, I'm going to flip it over. And these dies come with a little flap. Now, I recommend you take the flap and open it up and kind of crease it back. And what that flap does is it exposes the paper where it's been embossed. So I am now going to take some colors by Clear Snap, which is the color box line, and these are dye inks. Sorry about that. These are dye inks, not pigment inks, so they dry faster and they don't need to be heat set. You want to use a pigment ink if you're going to emboss, or if you're going to heat set, but I want a dye ink because I want it to dry faster. I'm going to take my finger dauber, which is what we recommend you use with your cat's eyes because it keeps your foam pad very nice without it disintegrating or falling off. You use your finger dauber and you just get it, and we're going to go right on top. And I'm just going to do little circles wherever I want my green to be. Little circles. Get a little more ink and little circles. Now, you don't need to have a finger dauber for every color cat's eye or every color ink you own. We recommend that you have one for every hue of ink that you have. So I'll use this one because it's green. I'll use it with all my greens. I have a dauber for my pink inks, and I have a dauber for my red inks, but I don't have a dauber necessarily for every single color. We sell the daubers individually for $1 each, or you can buy a 3-pack that comes in a little case. Okay, so I've got some green on there. Then I'm going to take my red color box, cat's eye dye ink, and I'm going to put a little bit on and go right over here and just fill that in. And I'm going to do half of this one up here just to give you an idea. And let's take a little bit of my green again, and in it goes. Okay, so now I've stenciled, and I'm going to open up my folder, and this is what you'll get. Beautifully stenciled, no mess, it's not all over the place. You've got half that's not stenciled and half that is. And remember that these dies cut too, so the centerpiece will come right out, and you can use this for a sentiment, for just about anything. Also, these little pieces in here, and I'm not sure if you can see them, these little fan shapes will also pop right out. So I have a sample here that I have done and completed. And I took a brand new Hero Arts stamp, the silhouette, and stamped it in gold embossing powder. And doesn't that look fabulous? So the fronts of your cards or your scrapbook pages, altered art, these dies do everything. They're just wonderful. And I have one more sample here of this one where I used some fun colors. And as you can see, I have popped out the top pieces, and you can just back it in anything. Now, you're going to say, okay, I've got this, it's a mess now, what do I do? You take your trusty dusty wet wipies, a crafter's best friend, and wipe them down. Because these are metal dies, they clean up beautifully. You're going to wipe the outside, and then you're going to come back and wipe the inside. These are not fragile at all because they're nice and solid, heavy metal. And then once they're clean, you're done and you're ready to use it again. So again, this is Whimsy. Now we also have this one here that I did with the Creative Imaginations white core paper. They're cardstock that I showed in an earlier demonstration. This one is called Carly. Pretty, isn't it? And so simple to do because you just emboss it and sand it. And this one, if you can see, has little piercings. It's almost like you took your piercing tool and sat there and pierced all of these little dots and all these little flowers, and you didn't. The die did it for you. And then we also have Deco Burst. And Deco Burst, when it's done and it's sanded, looks just like that, and the center pops out. Beautiful, aren't they? And then I went ahead and I stenciled the first one we did, Cogs and Wheels. Instead of sanding it, I used it as a stencil. I embossed it and then stenciled it in the black with the clear snap color box cat's eyes in the dye ink. Really, really pretty. So, what we've learned today is that Cuttlebug has made some amazing new products with these Emboss Plus folders. We have all of them in stock. They are on sale right now for 20% off, not only in our store, our retail store, but online at Scrapbooking-Made-Simple. They retail for $19.99, so take 20% off of that. And if you're shopping online, of course, it's free shipping after $50. We learned that we love coordinations. I'll try to get these online too, but the Sand It Gadget for $3.50, well worth your money. And that the best way to use your cat's eyes is with a dauber. It saves your top, it doesn't disintegrate, it doesn't fall off, and the dauber gives you complete control. And for $1, it's absolutely worth it. So thanks so much, you guys. I hope you learned something, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.